Welcome back to another great episode of Scoreboard Addicts podcast. After a 1 week hiatus, we are back. As you can see, I'm still kind of hiatus a little bit.
Yeah, Nick. So why don't you tell everybody about your life decision to just be one of those bums in San Francisco that lives out of his car?
It's a nice car though. Like if I'm gonna live out of my car, like it's a nice car to live out of. I mean, I was actually sleeping out of my car the other night.
Nick's decided to become an urban camper. Look at that sunroof. That's where all the homeless men used to go number 2, right into your floorboards.
Yeah, I actually just kicked out Dirty Mike and the boys.
Did you find the old jar of mustard?
Yeah.
Stray dog?
I did. Called it a soup kitchen.
Soup kitchen. Oh, that's fantastic. Nick, I miss you, brother. You've been away for a couple of weeks. We don't get to hang out. You missed whiskey with friends. It was a bummer. I have your care package sitting over there somewhere on the bar. A couple sample bottles of whiskey and your bottle, which was donated by Chris McCormick. Shout out to Chris.
Oh, thank you, Chris.
Sweet enough guy to donate your bottle for the night just to give us another bottle to drink.
That's awesome. I'm out in an undisclosed location doing some training. Shout out to the 42nd Infantry Division, Signal Company. I know my boss gets mad that the Facebook page doesn't say enough about us, so I'm saying it about us. Go Signal.
I mean, if we're gonna start saying good things about our military guys, we might as well. What is this called? Operation Canadian Bacon, where you're just taking Canada by force because they don't know how to light matches.
Yeah, I don't know about anything about that. As you can see, the sky's pretty gray over here. That's all I'll say about that.
Unbelievable. So absolutely rough week in New York. Baseball games getting canceled. Kind of looking like the apocalypse. That one day every like 15 or 20 years when something terrible happens in New York City, which always seems to happen. It's unavoidable in a city of 8-9 million people at once on the Isle of Manhattan. But yeah, every once in a while, that crazy homeless guy with the sign that says the end is near, you got to kind of think like, is that Jesus?
Obviously I got the big pickup truck now. I've been listening to country music, and I listened to fucking Picture by Kid Rock, and he's just like, I ain't seen the sunshine in 3 days. Holy shit! Did Kid Rock call it? Did Billy Joel call it? We didn't start the fire. It was the Canadians.
Seriously, it's been insane, dude. I mean, kids are off from school. My son's baseball game got canceled, so he's missing out on. I think he only has 2 games left to keep rescheduling it. Because obviously every day is it's just not going away, man. It's, you know what? All those stupid secondhand smoke commercials I had to endure as a kid, and grandma having to light up a cigarette outside the car in 10-degree weather. It's all bullshit. In the last 2 days, I think I've gotten my share. I might as well have been a smoker my whole life.
You want to hear something funny? Yesterday we had a little pause in what we were doing. And some of the guys went to a supermarket or whatever, grabbed some dogs, grabbed some sausages and burgers or whatever, decided to go grill out by a lake. And at the lake, there was a sign that says, "There are young lungs here, no smoking." I was like, seriously? I was breaking out a stogie, and they were like, yeah, look at the sign. And I was just like, have you looked around?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to fit in.
Well, leave it to Canada to scream, "Grab my Molson." We're going to fuck up the planet worse than everybody else for a change.
Listen, I thought the ridiculousness about let's start it off. We're going already. Let's go. The ridiculousness, they canceled the Yankee game yesterday because it was too cloudy or smoggy or smoky, whatever the case might be, and they didn't want to endanger people by putting them in the stadium with, obviously there was going to be some smoke in the air. Did they think that those people who would be in danger being at the stadium, did they think they were just going to go home and not breathe? It's not like your air conditioner in your house filters out smoke.
I would say it's a little safer than being outside.
I don't think it makes a fucking difference. I don't think it makes a difference.
No, I mean, I'll tell you this much, from especially yesterday, from the outside my house to inside my house, it was drastically different. You know, we had all the windows up, we had the AC on, which actually recirculates the air. So it's really not letting any airflow into similar to your car. So I think you're good to go with that. Unless you have a window mounted air conditioner, then you're fucked.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I would rather smell the smoky air than TJ's farts recycled into my house.
Well, I mean, you invited me over for taco night, so kiss my ass, Nick. All right, you're gonna keep bringing it up.
And that's why you haven't been invited back over for pork chop night, my friend.
I can't handle the adobo saison.
But the Yankee game got
Akiote, right? The red one.
The Yankee game got canceled yesterday. Oh, not canceled, delayed, just postponed to today. And it was they canceled the game yesterday. Doubleheader today, twilight doubleheader. Yankees lose first game 6-5. A lot of scoring going on. And Did you see the Yankees outfield? Like, did you happen to catch the box score? Obviously, we have jobs, so like watching the game is not really like a thing when you have a job and it's at 4:00 or whatever it is. But obviously, Aaron Judge goes on the IL 10 days, retroactive to the 6th, I believe, or no, retroactive to the 4th. The collision with the wall in LA. It was definitely an injury to his toe. They're talking about a sprained big toe, possibly a break, but they weren't sure. X-rays came back negative, but a sprain. Honestly, sometimes you sit there and you hope that it is broken, because then you have a definitive timetable of when this guy's coming back. People sprain shit, and you're just like, all right, we'll see you when we see you.
Yeah, but absolutely. I mean, it's tendons and soft tissue damage. There's no timetable to heal, and it could take forever. I remember a couple of years ago when we were playing men's league, I caught one of those. You used to wear the sting pad on your hand, and I probably should have, especially since I didn't play with batting gloves. Jorge Posada did it with a wood bat league, and I caught a stinger right up that pad underneath your thumb, that bottom meaty part that the sting pad's supposed to protect. That obviously I wasn't wearing one. That shit hurt for like the rest of the season, like a good 6.5 weeks. My hand was killing me.
You get a little bone bruise in your hand. That's tough. And TJ used to piss on his hands regularly to make sure that they were nice and tough for the season.
That was only when I was drunk. It was a party trick.
Sometimes he'd ask me for some help. It got a little weird, but you know what? We got through it, Team captain asks you to piss on his hands for him, and you just sit there and go, how long, bro? Start drinking water.
I mean, it doesn't help that I was asleep and you snuck through my window at 3:00 in the morning, but sure, you could say I expert.
But today's outfield for the Yankees, Willie Calhoun in right field. That was the earlier game that is. Bowers in left field. And Billy McKinney recently signed off the free agent list, playing center field. So obviously an all-star Hall of Fame worthy outfield for the Yankees. But I don't want to poo-poo on the outfield too much. Willie Calhoun had a hell of a game, 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs. Bowers 2 for 4, and McKinney was 1 for 4. So you can't get too upset. I mean, they came up and they showed up, and that's what you want.
Listen, is Aaron Hicks out there? No. So
yep, he's not. Aaron Hicks recently designated for assignment by the Yankees, which ultimately ended his tenure with the Yankees. Signed by the Baltimore Orioles. He's batting .400 since signing with them.
I mean, when there's no expectations, I guess you can perform, right?
Yeah. I can't wait for him to come back to Yankee Stadium.
That's going to be epic. And I mean, I love how anytime somebody moves off the Yankees roster, whether it's ESPN or just pessimistic Yankee fans themselves, like to jump on this. Look what he's doing. Oh, Sonny Gray left the team, and look how he's pitching. And yeah, like they love to throw these. So I believe you commented on it. We both seen the video of Aaron Hicks kind of misplaying a ball hit to him more on a line drive out in center field for the Orioles, and he kind of misplays it and has to jump up to get it. Like, I mean, of what, 8 inches off the ground, he had to jump, and everybody's like, "Look at this play." What? He fucked up and misplayed the ball. He should have been standing there comfortably.
I did comment. As a former outfielder, generally speaking, I'm not saying I was the greatest fielder in the history of the world or a world caliber type player, but I know a bad route when I see one, and I know mannerisms when I see it. You know, I am not the guy that the guy hits a ball in the air at the stadium and I go, "Oh!" You know, every time anybody hits a pop up at a professional baseball game, the crowd goes wild because a good 75% of the crowd has no idea where the ball is going. I'm gonna give you a pro tip. Look at the outfielder. If the outfielder doesn't start running backwards, he's gonna catch it.
Yeah.
But Aaron Hicks jumps because he has no idea where the wall is. None whatsoever. He was like, "Oh shit, I'm gonna crash into the wall." He jumped and then realized he had another 3 or 4 feet behind him that he could have just caught the ball either on the run and then stopped at the wall or ran to the wall,
turned around. The warning track when he made that move, I feel like he wasn't even at the warning track yet.
He was. When he jumped, he wasn't. He landed in the warning track. I mean, listen.
That's what I mean, though. He should have known that by the feel on his feet, right?
That's home field advantage. Yeah, you're right. But that's home field advantage. Baseball really is the only sport that has home field advantage. Football has home weather advantage, but there's nothing about the field that's special. Baseball, obviously, we saw Aaron Judge get injured playing against the Dodgers because he doesn't know where the wall is or what the wall's like. You won't see players at Wrigley trying to pick a fight with the wall. Like the home team knows better than to play the carom the wrong way at Wrigley. The home team knows to play the wall at Fenway. Right. And all that stuff that's going on that way is that's home field advantage. You know, the home field knows that there's an electrical outlet knee high at US Cellular, and Dustin Fowler didn't know that, and that's why he severed his patella tendon. So that doesn't happen in football. That doesn't happen in hockey. That doesn't happen in basketball. A football field, a hockey rink, and a basketball court are all the same size, no matter where you play. If you can't deal with fans cheering in your face, maybe pro sports isn't for you. But yeah, football has home weather advantage, I guess. You know, if you're playing in Miami and you're not used to hot weather, that's going to be a pain in the ass. If you're playing in Buffalo or Green Bay and you're not in hot weather,
if you're playing in Boston, well, not really Boston, but if you're playing in New England at Gillette Stadium, there's definitely a home cheat advantage. So, I mean, I think we all know that. What have they gotten caught so far doing? The rumor was they always fuck with the mics of the opposing team, right? Like they wouldn't work, or there'd be some kind of interference on the channels. They've done the cold water in the showers only. And didn't they delay somebody's access to the field or practice or something like that too? So there was maintenance issues.
Not to mention they deflated a bunch of footballs and
I mean,
and recorded the other opponent's team's practice. That's just that's gamesmanship. Ask anybody from New England. But
listen, I mean, some people will argue the 12th man is the most important thing in national football. I'd say the cheat game in Boston is definitely the most important thing.
That's the 12th man. That being said, Yankees lost one today. I want to talk something about today. A couple shortstops struggling big time struggles from some shortstops. Francisco Lindor signed a big deal with the Mets. He is not performing at his best right now. Right now, he's batting .219. That is not what they paid for. It really isn't. He's batting .219 with 11. He's got some pop. 11 home runs, 42 RBI. But his OPS is under 800. I am not an OPS guy. I'm a traditional Triple Crown stats kind of guy because I believe in the entertainment value. The entertainment value of baseball, and base hits is entertainment value. I'm not sitting here trying to count how many bases somebody got. It's not important. If you get on base, it's fun. And you have Carlos Correa not doing that great. Failed 2 physicals before the season even started with the Mets and the Giants. There was a lot of clamor about him going to either team, and it was like, wow, he's coming to these teams. And right now, he actually is batting 210 by comparison to 209 or 219 that Lindor is batting. 210 with 7 homers and 25 RBI. Right. They're struggling, and Trey Turner from the Philadelphia Phillies, who had such a great World Baseball Classic, was really like mashing the ball in the Classic. Trey Turner right now is batting 237. He's usually a very high batting average kind of guy, but he's batting 237 with 7 home runs and 19 RBI. Now these guys are all-star caliber players, franchise shortstops. Usually the guys you lean on, they're going to lead your team in a lot of statistics, and they are batting in some cases 19 points better than Anthony Volpe of the Yankees, who's a rookie. And he's got about the same RBI and home runs as they do. He's got 9 home runs and 26 RBI. That's a rough way to start the season if you're these guys that just signed huge deals.
Yeah, I think it's almost like as a fan, especially, I mean, we're from New York, so we like to rip on our compatriot Met fans, if you will, because they're a good sport about it most of the time. But it's the trend in the MLB now. You just know when you sign one of those contracts, it's just kind of a given. At some point, somebody's either going to have an injury or a lull that is immediately going to get everybody to be like, oh, was it worth the paycheck? Oh, these guys really worth how many $30 million a year? You know what I mean? It's just, it goes into the debate. I mean, a little more that with the Mets, because I mean, they dodged the bullet, I think, though, with their pitching staff, letting DeGrom go, huh?
DeGrom hits the IL with a Tommy John surgery requirement. And they dodged 2 bullets because they could have ended up signing DeGrom and Correa and still had Lindor. That would have been a rough go. But even so, the Mets are not doing great right now. They are currently, I believe they're 3rd in the standings behind Miami, and they have a losing record. That is tough. I think the only player on their team that's really showing up and earning their paycheck is Pete Alonso.
And you know what? He did something that kind of was embarrassing, I think, the other night against the Braves, where he hit a home run and then stood at the top of the dugout after he walked off the field after hitting home plate and said, keep throwing it, throw it again, throw it all night, like kind of taunting the other team. It's like, dude, you hit a home run, great. You're playing the Braves, who have accomplished a lot more than you have in the past 3 decades. Maybe shut the fuck up. Like, who are you inciting? You have a losing record. You don't intimidate anybody. You're on a team that nobody really gives a shit about. You get clout because it's New York City. And you're really gonna try to go at the Braves. I'm sorry, when did they win their last World Series? Pretty damn recently, right?
The Braves won recently. The Mets won in 1980. That's what I mean.
Who are you taunting? And then the Braves immediately tied it up, I think, an inning or 2 later. It's like, dude, talking shit doesn't, you expect it in some sports, like chirping part of hockey, whether you're winning, losing, your team sucks, whatever, because something can happen. You can get into a fist fight over it. Pete Alonso's not going to get in a fist fight. He may get drilled or something like that, but you're smack talking with 182 games going, and you're not even at the 500 mark. It's ridiculous.
I believe the Mets lost that game 6-4.
They did, right?
Pete Alonso, 231 right now, 22 homers and 49 RBI. OPS is 872. I believe he leads Major League Baseball in home runs, which is nice, but not when your team is losing. Speaking of home runs, rookie shortstop for the Cincinnati Reds, I believe it's Ellie De La Cruz. I could be wrong about what his last name is. I believe I heard a rumor that he's related to O'Neal Cruz, O'Neal Cruz from the Pittsburgh Pirates. Really? Whether or not that's true, I have no idea. I've been out in the middle of nowhere in the sticks right now. I'm using a puck that's barely getting 5G to do this show right now. But he hit 2 home runs in his first 2 games in the majors. The second one, very emphatic. Personally, I mean, it was one of those homers where it's gone, but he decided to like whoop it up a little bit. And I saw a
Yeah.
comment saying like the Yankees need something like this on their team. I'm like, the Yankees have something like that on their team. His name is Josh Donaldson. He hits it to the warning track. It bounces off the wall. He sits there, pimps the home run, gets to first base, and everybody's like, why didn't you run? Well, it's because jackasses want him to sit there and admire his work after it's done. So that's why you don't sit there and admire it. I mean, Aaron Judge hit 62 home runs last year. I guess if you were only planning on hitting 2 home runs for a career, you might want to sit there and admire them both. Me personally, I run the bases because more is about to come. You know what I mean? But hey, good for him.
Dude.
He's coming out.
Speaking about more.
No, go ahead.
Good. I was gonna change subject. I was gonna say, speaking about more to come. Since we've been off the airwaves, missed a week last week. Zach Campbell catches another fucking home run. Is everybody sick of this guy yet? Like, can somebody hit him with a chair, like WWE style? Like, can't there be like something like? Can't Miami decide like, hey, we're going to include something that Florida has to offer at the stadium? You can take an airboat ride over like gator-infested waters out past left field, and then like we can throw Zach Campbell in there. I think we need to sacrifice him to the game of baseball in some horrific way inside a stadium.
The fans might come back. But I think that's baseball in a nutshell in New York. Yankees playing the White Sox for their second game of doubleheader today. It's ongoing right now, bottom of the first. Mets playing the Braves, losing 3-1, top of the second. Before we go, just a shout out to Alec Manoah. Good luck down there in single A baseball in the Florida Coast League or whatever they're calling the FCL these days. I'm sure you'll light it up down there. Do yourself a favor, stay away from Steak and Shake and all the other fast food joints in the area, and you might find yourself back in the majors sooner rather than later. Happy trails, Alec Manoah. And that brings us to
Whiskey of the Week.
Look out. Nick, you got any whiskey in that truck of yours, my man? It is a pickup truck.
I might actually. Hold on, let me see.
Good. Challenge accepted. We got some Yellowstone type of shit going on.
I think I had that rye back here. I think I took it out.
Oh, what a letdown.
I know. I don't know what I was thinking.
It'd be great if you just picked up like a huge bong. It's like, oh shit, not this. Hold on a second. Like just a keg. Like, no, that's for later. Could have been like Carrot Top with a whole bunch of props set up, Nick.
Sour Power.
Is that?
Yeah, it was Sour Power. I got it at Coney Island like 2 weeks ago. I got water. It's a blackout rage gallon.
Nice. Well, speaking about gallons and bang for your buck, this week's Whiskey of the Week is Early Times Bottled and Bond. Yes, it is the blue screw cap. It's not the black pop top, which everybody says is you're better off with, because I believe that's the Brown Forman recipe. This is the Sazerac recipe, supposedly the same recipe, different facilities now producing it. Could be the same barrels, maybe not, who knows, but the debate rages on. This is bottled and bond, so it's 100 proof, at least 4 years old, and it's a liter of bottled and bond whiskey for like $26. I picked this up for in New York City. So with all our shitty taxes and everything through the roof, $26 for a liter of whiskey, and it is absolutely fantastic. On the nose, typical caramel, vanilla, bourbon smells. This is like your prototypical whiskey on the nose. Everything you want, and you're just amazed that you only paid $26 for it. And then on a palate, there's zero burn for 100 proof. Very sweet on the front. Very caramel, buttery smooth. A little thin, but it coats the palate very well. So just a very sweet caramel. A little floral. Maybe a hint of fruit in there. But that vanilla and oak taste all the way through the finish. Awesome. I don't know. I'm amazed this didn't win our this last week or whiskey with friends because it was just insane. Insane. The 86 proof Old Forester ended up winning, which blew everybody's mind. But yeah, that was this week's whiskey of the week. Can't go wrong. Early Times Bottled and Bond. I'm just teasing Nick right now. I'm just going to sit here and sommelier.
I'm still trying to figure out. First of all, sommelier is a wine expert.
I use it for whiskey. Don't worry about it. It's a
That's
man
not a
sommelier.
thing.
It's a manly
not.
sommelier. Yes.
You can
He
call
has his
yourself a
man
whiskey connoisseur, a whiskey aficionado. A whiskey sommelier is not a thing.
I'm making it a thing.
You can't. It's not a thing.
I believe the whiskey tribe already made it a thing, so I'm not even going to try to take credit for that. But it's a thing.
Before we go into our next segment, let's get a little word from our sponsor.
Underdog Fantasy is here to save your post-fantasy football season blues. The easiest place to play and win with the Underdog Fantasy app. Get up to 20 times your money in a single night with our Pick'em contests. Grab some insurance when setting your picks and win even when one pick fails. Go online now and use the promo code Scoreboard to double your deposit up to $100. Sit Gingerbread, good girl.
Sit Gingerbread. That's Underdog Fantasy. Come see us in time. That brings us to our next segment because it's ongoing. Let's talk about it. Hockey, ongoing. I feel like hockey and basketball season are like the longest things, the playoffs especially. I feel like that scene in basketball where we're in month 6 of the basketball playoffs. Like, that's how I feel about the hockey and fucking basketball playoffs. It's like, Jesus, can they play more games?
Oh, dude, 100%. It's crazy because from Jump Street, from the first round, from halfway through the first round, I'll say, because I didn't have huge hopes, but after about 3 games of that Boston series, I thought Florida had a chance, and when they got past Boston, I thought they were running the table and going through the whole thing, and then the Golden Knights just show up and start throwing their big boys around, right, and just making Florida look terrible out there. They're stopping them in their tracks in the neutral zone. They're throwing the bodies at them, and they're outplaying them every step of the game. It's absolutely incredible to see. It's making it very entertaining, but I kind of was sitting there not that you root for another team when you're a Ranger fan and us being diehard Ranger fans, but I kind of wanted to see the Florida Panthers get there. You know what I mean? After upsetting Boston, that got them on my all right, I can root for them. That's fantastic. Thank you very much. You know what I mean? And I'm still in Florida's camp. I still think Florida's going to extend this to 7 games. But I mean, the Vegas Golden Knights are on fire, dude. Insane.
Is there a franchise in pro sports as brand new and simultaneously successful as the Vegas Golden Knights?
I don't think so, unless there's some maybe a soccer or football team, or when a new club forms or an old club was or something like that. I really don't know. I don't follow soccer. That's the only thing I can think of, because even the NHL system is flawed. You know what I mean? You're ending up with a team that you have no chance at a top 5 player on a roster, let alone in the league. So if you're immediately.
That's expansion in all aspects of every sport.
Bro, 100%. But what I'm saying is the system itself is already flawed against you. If you can compete and make the playoffs within your first couple of years, that's something, because then you can bring in a fan base in, right? But that's rare. It's not set up for you to do well. It's kind of set up for you to be competitive. That's it. Competitive, not good. You shouldn't be making the playoffs. Other than that, unless you're some kind of draft genius, or you can go through other teams' rosters and pick apart. And the Golden Knights were just right out the gate, dude. They were 500-1 odds to win the Stanley Cup their first year in, and they made it to the finals. So it scared Vegas so bad that before the finals started, they offered everybody that took the Vegas Golden Knights at 500-1. they offered them 100-1 odds to cash it out before the final started. That's how scared Vegas was. Giving away a free 100-1 odds. Listen, Golden Knights ended up losing that series, but the fact that they got there in their first year is ridiculous.
Yeah. Didn't the Kraken make the playoffs this year? Or am I crazy?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they're brand new too. I mean, let's be honest. It's not really hard to make the playoffs in hockey. Over like half the league makes the playoffs. You just got to be like not the bottom half. I mean, pretty much, yeah. Like half the league makes the playoffs.
Yeah, but I mean, again, half the league doesn't. I like the glass half full, half empty sort of deal we got going on, but it's being a team that's never really interacted or met each other. Maybe you get 2 or 3 players at most from a single team, but that's rare. These guys don't know each other. They're not gelling yet. Brand new coach, brand new system, brand new front office. Everybody's figuring out a new town at the same time. Dude, expansion is hell. Being competitive is.
At the same time, you have teams that are expected to do well that don't. So it's like
Fair.
It's really a crapshoot. You really have no idea like what's going on.
The best the Yankees were when they were the baby Yankees, right? In the past 10 years, when nobody expected anything of them. No, we're in a rebuild mode. That was the most exciting season we've had in the past 10 years, I would say, as a fan.
What was that, 17, 19?
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah, you're right. You're right. But the Rangers' ongoing search for a head coach continues after they fired Gerard Gallant. So what I'm hearing now, what was that again? I'm sorry, I missed that.
A little upset that I believe Patrick Waugh was eliminated from contention for the head coach this past week. That I believe they narrowed it down to 2 left on their radar that they want, but I'd have taken Patrick Waugh. No,
Patrick Waugh is what Sean Avery said that they were going to get. What was that? 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Before they picked up Gerard Gallant, it was Sean. Sean Avery shot me a message and said, "Hey, I think Patrick Waugh is going to be the guy."
Insane, bro.
Damn. What I have heard is that Drury wanted to keep Gerard Gallant. That's what I heard. And enough players complained about Turk that it was like a mutiny, basically.
They didn't want to play for him, dude. You could see it. There was no intensity.
Yeah.
And the guy wasn't, for a guy that liked to get into the rough stuff and get scrappy out there, he had no intensity behind the bench unless he was yelling at a ref. And it was usually over something really dumb, where it's like, all right, everybody would be yelling right now. Like how pissed off what's his face got when he skated off the ice this past year before they went on their little win streak. No, our captain, Truba, Jacob. Thank you. That should have been Gerard Gallant like the first 2 weeks of the season, and you didn't see it. Like, give me a coach that's going to snap sticks on the bench. Give me a coach that's going to make somebody bag skate after a fucking game. You know what I mean? I don't give a shit the fans are still here. Go skate. You guys suck. I want that nastiness. I want that intensity. Like, hockey is still allowed to be a tough sport. It's still a tough guy sport. You know what I mean? We haven't gone full, putting the skirts on them. I don't care if they try to cancel me for saying that.
Go dig up Herb Brooks.
Dude, Herb Brooks' corpse would have been more enthusiastic going down the stretch than Gerard Gallant.
Herb Brooks, I believe he was a Rangers coach at one point, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was a Rangers head coach, I believe, the 80s, early 90s.
Definitely after the Miracle on Ice, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I mean, that trajectory that projected him into, the annals of hockey greatness, winning that game.
100%.
And you know what? He deserved it.
Gotta look this up now.
But
absolutely.
He was the New York Rangers coach from 81 to 85.
There we go.
Yeah, he coached a few teams actually, but I guess that's the bag skater you want. The coach is going to tell you suck, and put it out there.
It works.
Yeah, Yeah. Right now, the Rangers are in a money crunch. Obviously, there's a salary cap in hockey, and what happens with that, the world may never know. We're waiting to see who does not make the cut. Could be one guy, could be a few guys, could be somebody gets traded, and that's how they free up the cashola to pay some of their free agents right now. Some of those high-profile free agents, guys like Patrick Kane is a free agent.
Well, he did undergo surgery, so
I'm not sure what that means. I mean, I obviously know what surgery means, but I'm not sure what that means for him or his ability to play. Does he end up having surgery and he's a shell of his former self, or does he end up having surgery and he ends up like Jack Eichel, who was supposed to not play hockey ever again and ends up,
right.
I believe he's playing in the Stanley Cup Finals right now.
Yeah, it's insane, right?
I think crazy.
Yeah, I think this year it was kind of rough times to do it because I don't know who's going to take a rider on him because his name alone is going to command a lot of money. I don't know what kind of timetable he's at with actually coming back. A doctor can sit there at the beginning and say, "Oh, it's going to be this 6 months, 4 months, whatever it is." It's all relative, right? It's all bullshit until you get down to the 3, 4, 5 months into PT, and then you see where you're actually at. But it's all up to him. It's all up to if he wants to come back, because at this point, does he have anything left to prove? He's got his cups. He's revered in Chicago. He's a wealthy guy, and you know what? You're injured. What is he? 35 years old? 34?
Yeah.
So something like that. You know what I mean? There's no reason to have to limp around the rest of your life. Might as well protect your investment on yourself. You know what I mean? You made enough money. So
not only,
who knows? Who knows if somebody's going to throw money at him?
He's won the championships too, so it's not like he has something to go out there and prove.
Right. I don't think the Rangers have any interest. So
you don't. Yeah. All right. Well, I guess we'll see. But that being said, that brings us to our next topic. To talk about winning championships, the Denver Nuggets are up 2-1 against our own Cooper's Miami Heat, and it's an exciting. I mean, I'm torn. I'm torn right now. Well, I'm not torn. I want the Nuggets to win because fuck Miami.
I agree, and we knew that Denver was getting to the finals. I mean, it wasn't a stretch.
I mean. Well, let's talk about their route. So, obviously, they play in the West. That being said, they get up there. They had to go through a few teams, and there were some highly touted teams in the West going into the NBA Finals playoffs. And obviously, it's always going to be this way until the man retires, and that might be this season. But LeBron James, obviously playing for the Lakers, that was a hurdle to surmount, and they did it. The Phoenix Suns out there again in the playoffs. Basketball is probably the easiest sport to make the playoffs. Over half the league makes the playoffs in basketball, and the Nuggets actually get to the finals. And I feel like this is the first time they've been this high profile since Carmelo Anthony played for the Nuggets.
Oh, definitely.
It's been a long time for the Nuggets. I'm happy for them. But talking about people that haven't won championships, Chris Paul came out today. I don't know if you caught that, what he said today, but Chris Paul came out today and said that the fact that he has not won a championship is weighing on his family because his kids are being bullied in school because people are making fun of him, like making fun of their dad, like your father's never going to win a championship. I'm starting to laugh because it's not funny for the kids. I feel bad. If that's genuinely happening, that sucks for the kids because, like, what do you say?
I was about to say, you teach your kids to say, I have generational wealth, suck it.
Yeah, but you got to imagine his kids don't go to public school. It's not like his kids are going to be like Method Man's son going to Curtis. You know what I'm saying? Like, his kids go to private school. Everybody's got generational wealth.
Maybe not. Get a couple posers in there. You know what I mean? There's always that one token that just barely has $1 million that sneaks into the school.
Fucking 1 millionaire, 100,000aire.
Wait, is that 2 years ago Mercedes-Benz G-Wagon? This guy's poor. Oh, dude, total Richie Rich vibes.
Oh, absolutely. But yeah, so Chris Paul came out and said that his not winning a championship thus far in his career has really put kind of a damper on his family, where his family is now like struggling with the fact that he is championshipless. And I wonder if that plays a role in his future and his.
It's ridiculous though, because I mean, he's not even close to the top echelon of NBA players that never won a championship. Like, if Dan Marino said, like, I can't deal with this shit, I can't deal with the fact that I'm quarterback in the league for 2 decades and I don't have a friggin' Super Bowl because my team sucked. Like, you know what I mean? If Dan Marino's not bitching, everybody else has to sit down and shut up.
You know what, though? It's different now. I don't feel like Dan Marino's kids would have ever, like, gone to school and people would have been like, haha. But you know what the difference is? Dan Marino's kids, they probably went to school in Miami.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, they had a great time, right?
No, but so everybody loved. Like, back in the day, if you were one of those guys that never won a championship, you stayed with one team for your whole career. So, like, the people in your own town didn't make fun of you. They're your fans. In the NBA, especially the NBA, these players just lobby to play for the next team that they're going to be on. They have zero loyalty to any franchise or any city for that matter.
Right.
And they're just looking for their next championship. So, like, if you come to my town and you fail to win that championship, yeah, I'm going to dog you. Like, I would have absolutely dogged Kevin Durant for coming to Brooklyn and winning absolutely nothing. I would dog Rich Harden for the same thing.
Yeah, but you know, would dog their kids.
No, if I was their kid, if I was a child and I was in class with them, I'd be like, yeah, I guess your dad thought he was going to be here in big shit, didn't he?
There is zero chance. There is zero chance because why? You want to be at that birthday party, bro. Let's be real.
Man,
We're not
talking. If I'm rich. Not if I'm a multi-millionaire's kid. If I'm Bon Jovi's
kid. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Bon Jovi's kid, I don't give a shit about Rich Harden's kid.
Of course you do. Of course you do. You want to know why? Because if I'm John Bon Jovi, I'm sitting there going, be nice to everybody so we can fucking network at these birthdays. Maybe I want a John Bon Jovi chocolate mousse cake coming out. Maybe I want a John Bon Jovi hair gel. What's to stop me? John Bon Jovi fucking slap chop. Bam. Oh, we're halfway there. Slap it. Like, you don't know. You got to network. And these fucking rich people stay rich because they network and know how to keep that money to themselves.
Oh, my God.
I'd beat my kid. I would beat my kid. It's like, Daddy, today I made fun of fucking Elon Musk's son. Like, that kid's getting hit with a chair.
That's what that day Daddy goes out for cigarettes and milk and never comes home.
Fuck, my kid's getting dragged to Elon Musk's house. Like, you can punch my son. He shouldn't have disrespected your kid. Seriously, though, can I go on a spaceship?
You know what's wild though is I was on board with you when you were talking about Bon Jovi hair gel. I thought it was a brilliant idea. And then you come out Bon Jovi step top, and I'm just like, so when you hit it, does it sing?
I think you're supposed to sing while you hit it.
Oh my God, Bruce Springsteen, kosher pickles.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, Bruce Springsteen is
Richard
not
Gere
serious,
remote control gerbil. Too far? Too far? That's not. I'm not asking if that joke went too far. That's what it says on the box. But like Richard looking back, too far. Going down a rabbit hole.
What is wrong with you? You're sick. But yeah, the Denver Nuggets are now leading 2-1 on the Heat. I'm rooting for the Nuggets because I'm against Coop. He's from Miami, so I'm just gonna root against them.
You can't sit there and have nice weather most of the year and then like think we're gonna have pity on you. We hate you for that. You're a nice guy. We love you, but seriously, fuck you.
Yeah, Tim Hardaway ruined a good chunk of my childhood. Fuck him. Fuck the Heat. And on top of that, the Heat have a stupid name. I'm sorry. Like when you get drafted, what do you call your mom and go, I'm a Heat? That doesn't even make sense.
I mean, a knickerbocker.
A knickerbocker is somebody that wears. Actually, ironically enough, for those who don't know, a knickerbocker is somebody who wears shorts below the knee.
I'm just saying that's
what a knickerbocker is. Somebody who wears.
It's terrible.
Listen, it was for the Dutch.
I don't know. I'm still a fan of the Pistols. Oh wait, the Pistons. My bad. Detroit. You know.
I thought you were getting that confused with the Bullets.
That was a stretch.
It's not Chicago, guy. That's all we got for basketball this week. Let's get into a little. Every time I show that, I think to myself, that JETS is actually fans. There are no fans that are Giants fans going, "Go Big Blue, go Big Blue." Like, it sounds so fake. I'm appreciative of it, but I love the fact that the Jets one is legitimately fans screaming JETS, and the Giants one is just like, "Go Big Blue, go Big Blue."
Yeah, pretty awful.
But today, Dalvin Cook of the Minnesota Vikings was released. A lot of discussion about where he may or may not end up. Originally, I'd seen some chatter that the Jets made him an $11 million contract offer, and he was set to take it upon his release. And then the Cowboys threw their hats into the mix. Now, some might be wondering, why would the Jets sign Dalvin Cook when they already have they just drafted a new running back. They drafted a running back the last 3 years, or if not 4 years straight. Well,
right.
Breece Hall is coming off an ACL tear. You always got to be a little bit wary about that. You know that you're never going to come back screaming out the gates 100%. Although in brighter news, he did come back. They put the GPS on him, and he was running like 26 miles an hour or something like that, 21 miles an hour, which is wild. He was running over 20 miles per hour. I think he was running 21 miles per hour. I think the world record for a human is like 28 or something like that. Something ridiculous. Something that triggers.
I think I can hit like 11 if there's a hill and a brisk wind at my back.
Are you kidding me? I hit 3 the other day and I pulled a muscle.
You put it on the turtle setting on the treadmill and immediately noped out of it. Hit the stop button.
No, the Army's got this new thing called a sprint drag carry. And anybody who's in the military understands about it is the most painful thing I've ever had to the test. It's as easy as all hell. That sprint drag carry is like, really, dude? This is what you didn't do to me? I thought we were friends. Like, in theory, it sounds really cool. Like, oh, that's no big deal. And then you grab that damn sled and it's 90 pounds and you got to drag it 25 meters instead of 25 yards. And you got to do it in like a time hack. And you're just like, all right, we all got to start losing some weight because this is supposed to simulate some battlefield conditions. And I'm not dragging your 225-pound ass across the battlefield. It ain't happening. So either hobble toward me or lose some weight.
I was going to say, I just, and I never knew this. Like, obviously, you know, Coney Island, the parachute jump, Six Flags Great Adventure had a parachute jump ride. And I've been on them before, you know. I never realized until today, watching a TikTok of airborne training, that like there's actually a parachute jump tower that looks exactly like what's in Coney Island or amusement parks. And they put these guys trained to be airborne, just strapped to a parachute that's a full open canopy, and then just zip line them to the top. And it's like, well, hold the fuck on, buddy. It's amazing.
Listen, you got to graduate to there. You actually start off on like a 1 meter platform. Like, just jump off this 1 meter. We'll graduate from there.
Dude, it's just insane the fact that, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm afraid of heights. I'm not a big fan of heights. But when it comes to like roller coasters,
willing to admit that.
Oh, easily. But when it comes to roller coasters, the faster, the taller, the better, because you're there instantaneously. You get up there from the ground. So you're not there like kind of, you're there so fast you don't get the time to contemplate the height you're at. When you get dragged up slowly like that on a cable that the U.S. government had other U.S. government employees that volunteered to be employees put that shit together, and then you're trusting your life to it, and then some guy on a megaphone's yelling at you the whole fucking time to make sure you do it right. That's stressful, bro.
I mean,
I would put that maybe one step above like shit getting put together by carnies in like a field in West Virginia.
Yeah, there's a very thin line between soldiers and carnies.
I agree. At least when it comes to putting shit together that I have to go up on.
No, think about it. Like we smell, we're transient. Like we don't really live in one spot too long. You can hide us in very small compartments. We have colorful language that nobody else understands.
Yeah. I mean, within the walls, you keep it. Don't ask, don't tell.
Small hands smell like cabbage.
Oh my God.
But back to football. So
we ran off on tangents left and right.
Yeah, Dalvin Cook might be going to the Miami Dolphins. God forbid. I would never want him to go through that terror. And a lot of people are like, oh, well, he's going back home because he went to Florida State. I just want to clarify for some people. Florida State is in Tallahassee. Miami, I mean, unless he's from Miami, like Miami is not home. That's like the place that like we get into fights with them every year. As a Florida State fan, like Florida, like the Seminoles and the Hurricanes get into a fight every year. Like somebody stomps on somebody's logo, somebody takes a helmet, usually from Miami, assaults somebody else with it, because that's what people from Miami do. They assault people and go to jail and whatnot. Ask Ray Lewis. And that's just and that's just he might be from Miami. Florida State does recruit well in those Miami high schools. He very well could, but does he want to win? Because I don't see Tua doing better than Aaron Rodgers this year. I just don't.
No, I agree. And honestly, I think the most exciting thing is just seeing all these pictures from practice right now, and Aaron Rodgers is kind of just like all smiles and having a great fucking time.
It's breaking Packers' hearts all over the place. Like they just can't get over the fact that he's smiling and he's at practice, and they're like, "But he never smiled with us. What the fuck?"
Right?
It's like they are the most bitter people in the world right now. Like, it's really something wild. How even their media are just
right.
Just like so salty, and every day they're tweeting and about the Aaron Rodgers, and I'm like, dude, like he's not on your team anymore. Like, get over it. It's like Miley Cyrus saying she's over Liam Hemsworth, but she's writing songs about him. It doesn't seem like you're over him, Miley. It really doesn't. Like when you're still writing songs about somebody, you're not over it. You're clearly not. It's very much you're very much in it. But you're right. He absolutely looks so happy, and good for him. Jets look good. DeAndre Hopkins is also still a free agent at the moment. So there's some free agents that are intriguing if you're a fan of either New York team, because the Giants could definitely use a wide receiver or two for that matter. They didn't have anything going on too much last year, although they did pick up Darren Waller, and clearly it has had some form of influence on Daniel Bellinger, who showed up to Giants practice looking like this. If I can get the damn picture into the, there you go. He showed up to Giants practice looking like that. And if I do say so myself, the man has got a drug test coming his way sometime in the very near future, because he didn't look like that last season. That's for sure.
What have you been doing? I fell in a vat of nuclear waste.
Of testosterone.
Yeah. It's like,
what have you been up to this
gamma
season?
radiation.
What have you been up to this off season? I've been drinking. I've been eating testosterone, the real San Francisco treat.
I would love to just go like 3 or 4 months of doing nothing but lifting weights, and then just like walking into a room like, just freak everybody out.
Yeah.
Holy shit! Are you okay?
Just for reference, these pictures are courtesy of the New York Post. This is what Daniel Bellinger looked like last season. It's a little bit of a difference, I guess. What do you think?
It's a huge difference.
Is that natty or not natty?
That's natty right there.
What about the new one? The new Daniel Bellinger?
Like he's right there. He's naturally big boy. You know what I mean? Good muscles on him. You know, solid build. Right, a normal looking build. The other one is it's like his arms look like overstuffed fucking sausages. Like the guy at Premio's wanted to get fired. He was like, "Fuck it."
He's
Only
the
6
guy
ounces in the tube, my ass.
he's like that guy who's like, I worked at McDonald's for years. I put an extra nugget in every 5-piece my whole life.
Exactly. But instead of a box, there's just like a fucking rubber sack that you're stuffing about 1,000 chicken nuggets into.
But that's Daniel Bellinger for this season, I guess. But the Giants absolutely could use an influx to their wide receiver room. Daniel Bellinger clearly took Darren Waller as a threat and was like, well, you're going to trade for Darren Waller. I'm here too. I'm going to let you know about it.
I'm going to kill him right on the field.
And then obviously Dalvin Cook's out there. Actually, in crazier news, I don't know if you caught this, T. I want to say it's the Cleveland Browns. I want to say, and let me double check real quick before I say it, but there's been a string of robberies and thievery going on in Cleveland with Browns players. 2 players robbed at gunpoint in like the last week and a half, 2 weeks. Jeez. And I want to say they were separate incidents. They were separate incidents. They were, and it wasn't even like they were together. And then another guy had his Ram TRK stolen.
I mean, I guess that you got to assume that they weren't exactly in bad areas when this was happening either. Just saying, like you assume they went to some kind of bar or club that was semi in a decent neighborhood. I would have to say that, like, I don't know. Maybe just you see paparazzi, a couple people take a shot.
If it's in Cleveland, is there? I haven't been to Cleveland in a long, long time, but if it's in Cleveland, are there good neighborhoods? I don't know. It's a tough call. It's a very tough call. By the way, as far as our basketball conversation is concerned, this is from Coop. What the fuck is a nick? A nick is short for knickerbocker.
Before you could. Okay,
we already discussed that.
I beat you to the punch.
But I'm getting that the blinky light from the wrap it up music.
Absolutely. Listen, I got like 10 seconds to do this real quick. You fucking PGA shills. We told you this was going to happen. We said that Liv was going to get bought out, that they would be one with the PGA Tour. They'd go out there and make their money. And no, the Rory McIlroys of the world and everybody that was pissed off at Jay Monahan during that meeting should not become whole and get free payoffs. You don't take a risk. You don't go over to the new tour and roll the dice. You get nothing. Good day, sir.
And we end it with that. Good day, sir. We'll catch you again next week. Same bad time, same bad channel.